As we set sail on the river of life, our emotions reveal the seasons to us, and life teaches us there is a time for every purpose under the sun. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you and welcome to each of you that has chosen to attend our worship service today. And let us begin by, please rise as you are able to sing the opening hymn, Praise to the Lord the Almighty, and remain standing for the prayer of invocation, followed by all praying the Lord's Prayer. Let us pray. Almighty and ever-loving God, in whom we live, move, and have being, we ask that we be allowed to feel thy presence as we assemble here to worship today. And as we feel that presence, let us feel that unconditional love and allow that energy to permeate our whole being, bringing forth healing physically, mentally, and spiritually, that we may have a clearer view of the choices that we need to make in the upcoming year, to make choices that will lead us into prosperity, of health, and healing, and love, that we may see through the limitations that we have placed upon others and be able to open our hearts and minds to receive the divine guidance that will lead us to that place that we need to be within our own being. And from that state of higher consciousness, let us give thanks for all that we have received throughout the past year, even the most difficult lessons that have taught us how to see beyond those things that we see as the barriers to achieving the goals and walking the path that we truly came here to walk. And let us begin to overcome that today by consciously sending healing both to the people of the world and the world itself, including ourselves, that we have the vision and the courage to embark upon that journey, manifesting and demonstrating for others to see that which we desire to see in the world, as we truly embrace the Christ within. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And leave us not in temptation, but deliver us from error. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Thank you, and please be seated. Our meditation song today is titled, Love's Got Away. So please listen to the words of this hymn and apply that to our own lives, creating that new vision that we choose.
I let go long ago, thinking I knew everything. I let love in my soul, started listening to the choir sing. When I let down on my pride, was the death that saved my life. And that's how I know the darkest night still end with the sunrise. 'Cause love's got a way of bringing healing to a heart in pain, making beauty from the ashes, breaking chains one after another, putting old lies to shame. Love's got a way of looking straight into the eyes of hate, still believing that a world can change. Hold on, my sisters and brothers. The mountain looks too great, but love's got a way. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah, 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 love's got a way. Oh, 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 oh. The truth of its nature is always give and never take. It flows with that freedom, surrendering itself away. Carves canyons through the stone, tells the rivers to run home. And that's how I know there's a hand in mine walking this long road. Love's got a way of bringing healing to a heart, hey. Making beauty from the ashes, breaking chains one after another, putting old lies to shame. Love's got a way of looking straight into the eyes of hate, still believing that a world can change. Hold on, my sisters and brothers, the mountain looks too great. Love's got a way. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah, 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 love's got a way. Oh, 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 oh. I'm getting out of the way of love. I'm getting out of the way.
As we embark upon the journey of life in the vibration of love, we have the ability to look at others, truly seeing with a different vision. We're able to see goodness, kindness, and to realize there is more to every person than what we have perceived. Because we have not all walked the same journey. We have not had the same hurts, the same rewards. We have not all been taught love in the same vibration. So as we embrace the truth about our own lives, we will be able to love to a greater degree with no expectations, simply because it is the Christ thing to do. We will be able to forgive others for what we feel is their shortcomings, because we are not empowered to judge without judging ourselves. We will be able to give without expecting to receive. And all those adjustments within ourselves will allow us to find that sacred place within, that place that when life gets tough and difficult to bear, we can go to that spot and receive that unconditional love that reveals the path and the adjustments that we should make within ourselves that allows us to continue to be in that space, that peaceful center. And then as we learn more about our own selves, we find that many times we are like the man who walked through the forest looking for a place to find peace. And on that walk, he came upon a lake. It was a small lake, and there were 4 or 5 canoes that were there. He looked around, looking for someone to ask about renting or borrowing one of the canoes, but no one was present. So he found a small rock, wrote a note, and put it under the rock in case the owner of the small boat came while he was out in the lake. So once he paddled out into the middle of the lake with no conscious awareness of none of his surroundings, truly being at peace with his emotions, he became aware of the gentle breeze that was blowing across his face. And it made him even more peaceful. But little did he know that as that gentle breeze caressed him, that it was pushing him back toward the dock. And in that moment of total peace, the boat gently touched the dock, jarring the man out of the place that he had found that gave him such comfort. And he turned to look to see who dared to interfere with that peaceful place he had discovered, only to find no one. The breeze allowed the boat to touch the dock with enough energy that it brought him back from that place. So the lesson that we need to take away from that is we cannot stay eternally in that place of peace and comfort and live life. But it is our responsibility to not allow things to trigger us to take our peace away. That is, we are the only ones that have the power to surrender that. So when we make that conscious choice to remain in that state that we choose to exist in, we are in control of our vessel. And we can maintain the status that we desire and that we deserve. So as you hold that in your thoughts today, and we bring our mind back to the chapel, adjust your eyes for the lights to come up. Today our lecture is titled The River of Life, and our scripture reading is Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verses 1 through 8. To everything there is a season, and a time for every purpose under the sun, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to tear down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to lose and a time to seek, a time to tie up and a time to untie, a time to rend and a time to sow, a time to keep silent and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace. May Spirit bless the reading of today's scripture. Emotions are the mental currency of the universe. Each day we make choices, activating the science of mental transformation to begin its work in us, achieving our own soul's mission. As we set sail on the river of life, we learn that our emotions reveal the seasons to us, and life teaches us there is a season and a time for every purpose under the sun. People come into our lives for a reason, a season, and some come into our lives for a lifetime. As we discern which, we open ourselves to new and greater levels of consciousness. When someone is in our life for a reason, it is usually to assist us with a need that we have expressed. They come to assist us through a difficulty, to provide us with guidance and support, to aid us physically, mentally, or spiritually. They may seem like a godsend when they arrive, and they truly are. They are there for the reason that we need them to be. Then, without any wrongdoing on our part, or at an inconvenient time, they will say or do something to bring the relationship to an end. Sometimes they will die. Sometimes they simply walk away. Sometimes they will act up and force us to take a stand, which creates a sense of fear within us because of the uncertainty that we have from the finite perception of being human. And when we look at the law of fear, it prescribes that an unpleasant emotion causes alarm or anticipation of danger. We sense something negative, and the most destructive force in one's own consciousness is the fear itself. If we look at the animal kingdom, when a cat or a dog comes upon something that they have a tendency to sense a little fear from, you will see the hair on the back of their spines bristle. And that's their way of communicating. I'm on alert now, I'm watching. The power of thought plays an important role in the operation of the law of fear. We have been taught that when we think, what we think becomes a part of us. So if we continually hold a negative thought involving fear or a grudge, one remains in a state of waiting for that fear to manifest, and that manifestation becomes a part of our reality. This is a demonstration of cause and effect. The cause was the fear, and the effect will be the results that we manifest. Negative thinking creates the things we do not want as a part of our lives. So we must continue to accentuate the positive if we are truly going to eliminate the negative in thought. And then our fears will dissipate. They will be gone. Ferguson states, ultimately, we will know deeply that the other side of fear is freedom. And freedom is truly what we're all seeking. Yet we have a tendency to hold ourselves in bondage to the fear. In understanding natural law, we recognize the effects that we receive are the results from the causes that we chose. We create our own fears to rid ourselves of fear. We must create courage by cultivating positive thoughts. Any fear can be conquered if we make up our minds to do so. For fear does not exist anywhere in the universe except in the minds of individual human beings. We can begin the process by replacing "I'm sorry" with "thank you" instead of saying "I'm sorry for being late." We can say "Thank you for waiting for me." Or instead of saying, "I'm sorry for being such a mess," simply say, "Thank you for loving me and caring about me unconditionally." It not only shifts the way we think and feel about ourselves, it improves our relationships with others, who now get to receive our gratitude instead of negativity. Activating the law of forgiveness allows bygones to truly be bygones. But this cannot be achieved until we learn to forgive ourselves as well as others. How many times have you heard someone say, "It's easier for me to forgive someone else because I should have known better"? Well, you're cheating yourself if you don't forgive yourself as well. Forgiving is a simple act of creating a balance where an imbalance existed, and only good can come from forgiveness. When we work in the energy of forgiveness, we create a greater understanding of our spiritual lessons, such as the law of freedom. The law of freedom is the power of deliberate, unlimited choice. We can make any choice that we choose, but we also need to be informed within our own consciousness, because we have made choices before and we know where the negative input takes us. The law of freedom is the power of deliberate and unlimited choice. It makes us aware of the power that is in each of us. It is important to recognize that we are freely given to the degree that we understand that there is no power outside of oneself. Once we have accepted this, we have full recognition of our own power of choice in all that we do or say. It is a basic fact that we can and we do choose our way of life. We can desire to progress and take such action as necessary, or we can limit ourselves to suffering, unhappiness, and status quo. It depends solely on how the law of freedom and the law of choice are practiced by us in our own lives. We have the freedom to make our own decisions, whether they are right or wrong, and we have the freedom to change and correct those choices when we see the right or the wrongness as needed. As we give consideration to this law, we may find that there is not necessarily a wrong way, but perhaps just a detour in our pathway that is allowing more growth through new thought and new experiences. We have the freedom to allow others to have their way of thinking and living. The law guarantees each of us the opportunity for choice, the right to choose our own path in life. It is a great teacher when combined with the law of allowing, detachment, karma, and understanding. We can choose to set free from all bondage and past error. No other person can ever take power over our destiny unless we surrender that power to them. The law of freedom opens the door, giving us the opportunity to approach life's situations in a positive manner. It grants us the pathway which offers us the ability to change any situation. But we have to look for those opportunities and recognize them and take action in the moment. Every human being has 4 endowments. They are self-awareness, conscience, independent will, and creative imagination. These endowments give us the ultimate freedom, the power to choose. How we manifest changes, therefore changing our vibration and our consciousness. This also includes how we respond to others and the interactions with them. The law of free will establishes that no matter what conditions, circumstances, or challenges prevail in our lives, we have the ability and the power to choose our own pathway in our individual journey. Yes, sometimes we have the fear that if I speak up or I express my desires and in such a way that people know that I need them to be honored, that we will upset the apple cart and create more disharmony. But we do that by not speaking up, because people feel they have the right to make choices for us if we do not express what we desire in life. We can choose to submit to the direction of others, or we can choose to take the lead. In essence, we can be the sheep or we can be the shepherd. It is our choice. Our creative thoughts and actions either build or destroy. The capability of having our own thoughts is an example of free will. And it is those creative thoughts combined with our actions that determine the physical manifestation of the events in life. Our journey upon the river of life proves to us there is a season and a time for every purpose under the sun. It is our responsibility to ourselves to discern if the people we encounter are there for a reason, a season, or if it is a lifetime. When our need has been met or our desire fulfilled, their work is done. The prayer we sent forth has been answered, and now it is time to move on, holding no grudges, nor nurturing any hurt feelings. Because when we call out for help, there generally is a trade, something that we are to provide as a lesson to the other person. And sometimes when we negate speaking, we deter our own growth. Some people come into our lives for a reason, because our turn has come to share, grow, or learn. They bring us an experience of peace. They may make us laugh. They may teach us something that we have never thought of or heard about before. They usually give us an unbelievable amount of joy. You can believe it because it is real, although it may only be for a season. Lifetime relationships teach us lifetime lessons, things we must build upon to have a solid emotional foundation. Our job is to accept that lesson that we're being taught, love that person, and put what we have learned to use in all of our relationships and areas of life. There is an old saying that love is blind, but friendship is clairvoyant. If we can't love and accept people blindly, we need to be clairvoyant and shift our vibration, allowing us to see beyond that finite human perception the limitations that we have placed upon those who have come into our lives for that reason, that season, or that lifetime. We need to embrace the journey of life with the desire to learn, being an example to others as we raise our own vibration, enabling us to increase our view of the highest realms of life. As we learn from those who have come to assist us, including Hermes Trismegistus, known as the scribe of the gods, who dwelt in old Egypt in the days when the present race of man was in its infancy. He was a contemporary of Abraham, the great central son of occultism, whose rays have served to illuminate countless teachings which have been around since the beginning of time. As the fundamental and basic teachings embedded in the esoteric teachings of every race is traced back to Hermes, even the most ancient teachings of India undoubtedly have their roots in the original Hermetic teachings. The introduction to the Kabbalion ends by stating, if you are a true student, you will be able to work out and apply these principles in your life. If not, then you must develop yourself into a student. Otherwise, the teachings of Hermes will be nothing more than just simply words to your ears. There will be no comprehension. The 7 principles upon which the entire Hermetic philosophy is based work in unison with natural law. These principles are, first, the principle of mentalism. Second, the principle of correspondence. Third, the principle of vibration. Fourth, the principle of polarity. And fifth, the principle of rhythm. Sixth, the principle of cause and effect. And seventh, the principle of gender. The principle of vibration embodies the truth that everything is in motion. Everything vibrates. Nothing in the universe is at rest. Modern science embraces these facts, and each new scientific discovery tends to verify the Hermetic principles, which was enunciated thousands of years ago. This principle explains that the difference between manifestation and matter, mind and even spirit, results largely from the variations in the vibration of energy, from the all, which is pure spirit, down to the grosser forms of matter. All is vibration. The higher the vibration, the higher the position in the spectrum of life. The vibration of spirit is at such an infinite rate of intensity and rapidity that it is practically at rest, just as a rapidly moving wheel seems to be motionless. And at the other end of the scale, the more grosser the form, those vibrations are so slow until they appear to be at rest. Between these poles are millions upon millions of varying degrees of vibrations, from corpuscles and electrons, atoms and molecules, to worlds and universes. Everything is in motion, including us. This is also true on the planes of energy and force, which are but varying degrees of vibration, and also on the mental planes, which extends even to the spiritual planes, explaining the law of as above, so below. One who understands the principles of vibration has grasped the scepter of power. This is what allows us to take control of our own mental vibration. Every thought, every emotion, or every mental state has its corresponding rate and mode of vibration. And by an effort of the will of the person or persons, these mental states may be produced just as musical tones may be reproduced by causing an instrument to vibrate at a certain rate. By knowledge of the principle of vibration as applied to the mental phenomena, we can polarize our minds at any degree we desire, thus gaining control over our mental states and even our moods. In short, we may be able to produce on the mental plane that which science produces on the physical plane, namely vibrations at will, also known as the science of mental transmutation. This is the process through which we do healing and other phenomenal things. The principle of vibration embodies the truth that emotion is manifest in everything in the universe. Nothing is at rest. To everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under the sun. Actually, verse 3 states there is a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to tear down and a time to build up. Our teachers draw near to help us, and they can teach us from the spirit side of life. They can use every tool that is available to them to guide and assist us. But nothing can happen until we make a conscious choice to take action, setting into motion a series of events, changing our lives and our attitude about life, especially that from the moment we arrive on the planet, we should never take more than we give. The action we take today creates our tomorrows. We were created with an intuitive nature. However, it is up to us to identify and use this awesome gift in all of our actions. There is no amount of money that can buy all that living in accordance with natural law offers each of us as we immerse ourselves in the river of life. It is the vibration of love and peace that helps the manifestation to change the world. John Milton states, "Gratitude bestows reverence, allowing us to encounter everyday epiphanies, that transcendent moments of awe that change forever how we experience life and the world." And to quote Sharon, "He who receives a good turn should never forget it, but he who does one should never remember it." With that in mind, send forth a prayer of gratitude as we begin to approach the burning bowl ceremony, and hold that thought as you each approach the altar all the way back to your seat, asking for that mental transformation to begin to do its miraculous work within us at this very moment, and ask for it to continue to go with us and be there if we ask. And we should not have too much pride to ask. So each of you has the paper that you were given to write that which you desire to release on one side, and that which you desire to bring in on the other side, provided this one can make fire. Tara, do you have fire? David, you have fire? And I tested this before service. So see, I'm having to walk through my own experience of not letting this upset me, but to seek an alternative. And, you know, things generally come about just that fast, so fast that we do not recognize it. Thank you for fire. And as the music begins, we will start with Tara to come forth to the altar first so that she can go back. So please begin the music now.